Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. All right. I know Vince I Am didn't decide to join us all the way from the UK this morning. All right, Mr. Elevation. All right, Emperor Rex, We the People, Aqua Girl Rising. All right, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Please like and share. Don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving the notifications. All right. Hold on, beloveds. I need to put my spectacles on. Hold on. All right. All right, so Bronze Flat Power God, Donna is here. Okay, Hadassah is here. Let's get into it. Claudette, Dangerous. All right. With that all being said, hey, Pretty Wings. All right, so shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone tuned into the Queen. I see Lano, or is that, yeah, Lano Rex. I hope I said that right. I'm not sure if it's two words or one. Okay, Leon is in the virtual building. Soul Sister is here. All right, so with that all being said, shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. So now let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before we get started.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, first of all, you all know President Trump is headed to Davos uh, today. And on the way there, there was some sort of electrical issue that postponed the trip. But he should actually be there by now. And of course, he's going there to discuss his policy and basically, I guess, to try to con them, in my opinion, into freely giving up Greenland. Okay, just my opinion. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to go to that footage. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about Trump this morning. Okay, we're not going to spend a lot of time on him this morning because we have too much to cover. With that all being said, hey, Dark Tube. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen.
High-stakes meeting with European leaders. This is a president arriving in Switzerland. Now, this happens after an electrical issue forced Air Force One to turn back overnight. Top of the agenda, the president's demand for Greenland and threats against U.S. allies if he doesn't get it. The tension spooked the three major U.S. stock markets, causing the biggest one-day drop since October.
Now, this is a meeting for the World Economic Forum. Okay, so I'm sure Trump's going to get there and lie and try to act like everything's been going so great in the U.S.
Ed O'Keefe is in Davos covering all the meetings. Ed, you know, they always make news in Davos, but all eyes on this one. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning. This is indeed a very big day. We should point out at the start here, the White House says that this delayed arrival was caused by a minor electrical issue on board Air Force One last night. Reporters flying with the president said the lights did indeed go out briefly, so they turned around, went back to Joint Base Andrews, got on a different version of the aircraft and arrived here in Switzerland just a short time ago. We are anticipating that this will be the first time the president directly discusses his pursuit of Greenland in front of the crowd, arguably most opposed to the idea. European leaders who say if he goes through with this plan, it could rip apart the transatlantic alliance. This morning, President Trump still en route to the Swiss Alps after an electrical issue caused minor delays on board Air Force One last night. Trump is expected to arrive in Davos amid heated debate over ownership of the icy Arctic island of Greenland.
You'll find out.
That was his response when asked Tuesday how far he'd go to take over the Danish-controlled territory.
I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security.
At the World Economic Forum in Davos, Energy Secretary Chris Wright insists Trump's quest for the island isn't about its vast natural resources.
Yeah, of course there's resources there, but it's a remote area. This is not about resource capture at all. This is about national security.
And the president's threat to hit allies with tariffs if they don't back his Greenland plans appears to be driving them away.
It is time to seize this opportunity and build a new independent Europe.
Some, like this Danish member of the European Parliament, are more direct.
Mr. Trump, f off.
Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons, who's been in Europe since the weekend, understands their anger.
Trump has taken Europe on a dizzying ride, and it's making all of them trust us less as a security partner and an economic partner, and we should pay attention to that.
And California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, a possible 2028 presidential candidate, urged Europe to punch back.
Trump thrives on finding vulnerabilities and weakness, and he exploits them. Come back over and over and over and over again. What he doesn't respond well to, and what is effective, is strength.
Today's remarks are also expected to focus on the president's midterm election focus on affordability. And tomorrow he'll shift his focus to Mideast peace, announcing details of his new Gaza Board of Peace and which member nations may in fact be signing on. Vlad?
All right, Ed, thank you very much. Running HR through 15 different apps meant stress for everyone.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, beloveds. I wish I could be a fly on the wall to hear how this is all going to go. Okay, I really wish I could be a fly on the wall. Now, meanwhile, they still have protesting And I'm going to go to the footage of the protest in Boston. And this is another, of course, anti-ICE rally. Also, I saw a post this morning where a Black nurse claims that she was detained in Minnesota at a hospital. Okay, and she said that the people at the hospital, their bosses basically told them, the hospital told them to make sure that they bring birth certificates and things to prove that they're a U.S. citizen, because they're going to be just, stopping anyone that's Black or brown. Now, I want you all to pay attention, because all of a sudden now we're seeing Black people being harassed by ICE just days after that big mouth dude from the Black Panther Party, Paul Birdsong, after he came out talking all that trash. Did y'all notice that? Or is it just me? Or was this going on before? Once in the chat, if you all have noticed that now you're hearing more about Black people because they pulled a Black man out of his car. This was like the day after. And that now we have this nurse coming out and saying this. And I'll go to the video in a minute because I actually have it on my X account. I retweeted it. Okay, so you all put once. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This was a concerted effort to get Black people out there, boots on the ground. That's all that was. Okay, because Trump wants us out there. Everybody wants us out there. The regular people want us out there so we can be their first line of defense. That's just my opinion. Okay, and then Trump wants us out there because for the same reason. Okay, so we can go out there and get the brunt of the brutality that's going on by ICE. Now, that's my opinion. And then also so that they can declare, so he can invoke the Insurrection Act or martial law. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to go to these protests. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. But we already knew this was going down, right? We already knew this was going down. Okay, so with that all being said, hold on. Let me go to a couple of comments before we get started. Okay, Claudia said, nope, not going to happen. Okay. Vince I M said, you warned us this would happen, Queen. Yep. We saw it coming, didn't we? Okay, Hollywood said, I saw that too. Okay. So this is all going to get a whole lot worse, beloveds. Just pay attention. But now also, just for you all to know, there's multiple Black Panther parties supposedly popping up in different places. So, I mean, I don't know where they're all coming from, but we're going to talk about that as well. Okay, let's go ahead.
Down with deportation! Down with deportation! Hundreds marching through downtown Boston earlier tonight to protest the Trump administration's immigration policies. NBC 10's immigration reporter Oscar Morgaine is on it for us. He joined us live right now. Oscar, this comes as the president hit 1 year in his second term now in office.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of people here calling for a reversal to many of Trump's policies, including on immigration. And even though a lot of people did expect an aggressive approach to immigration from the get-go, for a lot of people that were out here tonight, they were still very upset at how far the administration has gone. It's deja vu for several rally-goers who gathered at Copley Square in Boston, protesting the Trump administration's policies like they did exactly a year ago when the president took office.
And a year in, letting him know that even though he's tried to beat people down, intimidate people, only more and more people are becoming emboldened to stand up because we all know where the right side of history is.
Unions, socialist groups, and pro-immigrant organizations were joined by others like Jim Hunt.
People are starting to wake up.
Moved to join the march down to the Boston Common on a frigid Tuesday night.
You can't let Mother Nature get in the way.
Hundreds joined the call to protest.
It's my first time at a protest like this.
With a shared message.
I come from a background of great privilege, and it's just not right to sit at home when I know that so many people in my community and all over the country are being torn apart.
We have a lot of accomplishments, and as you know, this is the anniversary, first anniversary.
President Trump took over the press briefing at the White House to tout his achievements, including on immigration. A year ago, the president signed a slew of executive orders that set the stage for what was to come, from trying to end birthright citizenship to enacting travel bans and ramping up ICE operations and deportations across the country, including Boston.
So our choice here is to just say that we support ICE.
Policies Brian Foley, who showed up to counter the rally, fully endorses.
I'd like to see more ICE in Boston. That's it. That's really it. I worked on the Trump campaign, so I love everything our president's done.
Looking ahead, Joe Taché believes the movement against Trump will continue to grow.
I think the next year and the years after that are going to show that the people united and organized are much stronger than Trump and his small group of cronies.
Now, these organizations are planning a coordinated rally, a national coordinated rally on Friday called Day of Truth and Freedom. They're calling on people to skip work, school, and shopping, all to try to protest these same immigration policies. Reporting live from Boston, Oscar.
Okay, so Soul Sister said, Queen, you warned us they would start to target Black people. What they did not count on is that we would not march. So they're trying to find other ways to attack us. Yes, they're trying to find any way they can to get us out there, beloved. Exactly. Okay. So now let's go to this next clip because they say Trump has a global mafia. I find that interesting because on this channel we've been saying that Trump was running this country like it was he was the mafia, a mob boss. Greenland crisis escalates as Donald Trump marks 1 year since returning to power. I hate to hear that word in the same sentence as Trump's name, power, because that's the last thing this malignant narcissist needs. Okay? Hey, retired federal officer Banks, top of the morning to you too, beloved.
Donald Trump kicked off his second term with a pledge to bring the world together.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier.
12 months on, European troops are being dispatched to Greenland as the US president talks seriously about a possible invasion of territory held by a NATO ally.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
In Donald Trump's second term, peace and unity have so far been in short supply. The US has launched military strikes on Iran, Yemen, Nigeria, and Syria. The war in Ukraine rages on, and the Gaza ceasefire is shaky at best. Just this month, the world watched as American forces snatched Venezuela's president in an overnight raid. And now Greenland appears to be next on the list of US conquests.
Feels like every day we wake up and there is a new piece of news that is surprising, that we probably wouldn't have anticipated.
Around the world, governments are scrambling to deal with the upending of the international rules-based order by a US president keen to throw America's weight around.
Really does intend to completely transform American foreign policy. And in the process, he's doing some of the crazy things which when he first talked about doing them, people dismissed as unthinkable.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it.
National security may be one of the president's stated aims for acquiring Greenland. Anger over being snubbed for the Nobel Peace Prize is apparently another, as the president's extraordinary text message to Norway's Prime Minister this week made clear. The Norwegian government has no say over who gets the honour, but Mr. Trump begs to differ.
And don't let anyone tell you that Norway doesn't control the shots, okay? It's in Norway. Norway controls the shots. They'll say, we have nothing to do with it. It's a joke. They've lost such prestige.
If anything, it sounded to me like, the excuse from an abusive partner, which was, look what you made me do.
Matthew Duss, a former foreign policy advisor to Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, says the Greenland crisis is the latest and by far boldest example of raw power trumping diplomacy in this second term.
I've referred to it in the past as essentially running a global mafia. That is really how he seems to see the United States. It's a world now of might makes right.
And no lies detected. Okay, no lies detected. He said might beats right. Okay, that's what Trump's doing. I told you all he's trying to rule with an iron fist. Exactly what he's doing. But meanwhile, here's what I find interesting. So while he's out here having ICE just harass and attack and brutalize innocent people out here on the streets, because he said that they were going to be going after the crooks and criminals amongst these immigrants, said they were going to be looking for the grapists and the murderers and all of these things. But they're out here attacking everyday people, just regular working people who are out here just trying to make a living. And what I find interesting is the fact that they're so hypocritical, because a lot of these ICE agents are crooks and criminals themselves. Some of them, their backgrounds show that they have been charged with assault and different things, according to reports. Now, I can't prove this, but that's what's been alleged. And are these people, are they taking background checks? Okay, are they taking background checks? I'm inclined to think that they are not, because the lady, the journalist who went in and applied for ICE just to try to see the process, the hiring process. Remember how she said she smoked marijuana like 6 days prior, and then they told her to take a rug test, and she obviously passed because they hired her and they basically put her name on their website as being someone who recently joined ICE. So either she passed the test or they didn't do the test. They may have taken her samples but just didn't do anything, because how'd she pass? Or are they just letting you go through even if you pass or fail? Because that's probably what they're doing, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, this man R-worded this lady by the name, his name is David Corville. Okay, 56 years old, and he actually pled guilty to this. Okay, someone did a TikTok video, so let's just go to that. Okay, I looked it up, and he absolutely did plead guilty to it. And I promise you, he's probably done this to more. And just look at this ugly devil. Look at him. Can you imagine, ladies? Can you imagine being in a filthy detention center? Okay, you've not committed any crime. Okay, you may actually be a citizen, and they're just holding you like they have done some people that are actually citizens. And this thing right here is forcing himself on you. I mean, this is all so sick, and who knows what kind of diseases this devil has. Okay, he looks like a mangy dog.
This man right here is David Corville, which is an ICE agent officer. So this guy, David Corville, was taking this woman that was detained by ICE, and he was essaying her and graping her. And what he would do is he would go get pictures of her family. This was like her reward for what she was doing for him. So he would go get pictures of her family, and he would let her make phone calls, and he would bring her food. And the thing that's so sad about this is that for them to think that this is the only woman that this has happened to and that this is happening to is a sad situation. So they got these people being detained. Nobody can check on them. They literally have to work all week just to make one phone call to their family. They don't get to talk to nobody. Family is not getting fair information about them. So just imagine how many women that this is actually happening to inside these detention centers. Something got to be done about this. Y'all drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this one.
Just a darn shame. Absolutely deplorable. Okay, and they can sit there and pretend they think she's the only one. They know this has been happening. Okay, they know this has happened before. At the end of the day. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this video where this nurse says that she was detained. This nurse works in a hospital in Minnesota, and the staff there, the staff that aren't white, were told to make sure, the ones that aren't white. See, this is what I'm talking about. White people are not oppressed. Okay, white people are not oppressed at the end of the day. All right. Now, with that all being said, the ones that aren't white are told to make sure to bring their ID and birth certificate with them to work, because ICE is hanging around all the hospitals, grabbing up anyone of color. Okay, she was stopped by ICE and released, thankfully. And that's because they told them to bring their birth certificates. Thank God she had it on her. I knew these fake Black Panther members were going to cause trouble for Black people. Okay, then you have these fools out here so glad and thrilled. What the hell are they going to do against ICE? I want you all to really think about this. What the hell are these fools going to do about ICE? Okay, do they think that there is even enough of them to take on ICE? I guarantee you there isn't, and they don't have enough guns or anything else. And not to mention, these are federal agents. Don't you know they can call in all kinds of law enforcement, okay, to help them? Not to mention, these are frauds, provocateurs, okay?
Before I play this, I need you to listen closely. This is a young nurse out of Minneapolis. She's not naming the hospital for safety reasons. And after you watch this, if your instinct is to minimize it, defend it, or tell healthcare workers to stay quiet, sit with that discomfort.
I'm at work. I made a video about an hour ago saying how ICE is literally grabbing anyone Black and brown, and how I was detained. But since my hospital told us the week prior to have our birth certificates or passports ready, I had a copy of my birth certificate ready to show them, and they let me go. They are stopping anyone that is Black and brown. And the biggest thing is, we know they're not just taking criminals because they are hanging outside of the hospitals and grabbing people outside of the hospitals. So please be careful. Please have your documents ready. Please be aware of what's going on, because this is what's going on. It's crazy that I have to come into work and say these things, and that we have to prove that we're citizens other than just showing them our ID, because they're just taking people. Even when you do show them your ID and tell them that you're a citizen, they don't care. So please have your documents ready for your safety.
What you just watched should alarm every single person in this country. ICE agents inside hospitals detaining Black and brown people, detaining healthcare workers, and hospital staff being told to comply and keep copies of birth certificates or passports in case they are detained. Hospitals are not border checkpoints. Patients do not lose constitutional rights because they are sick. And detaining people without due process is not only unethical, it is unconstitutional. From a healthcare perspective, this is dangerous. When people are afraid to seek care, conditions worsen, emergencies escalate, and people die, that is not a hypothetical. That is public health. This places clinicians in an impossible position. We are bound by ethics to protect patients, not funnel them into fear. So now, to the people who keep flooding my comments saying, stay in your lane, stay out of politics, don't talk about this. Did you just watch the same video I did? Healthcare is politics. Civil rights are healthcare. Immigration enforcement inside hospitals is a healthcare issue. So if federal agents can show up in a place meant for healing and detain people based on who they are, then congratulations, this is America, and this affects us all. Silence does not make this go away.
Okay, she said it makes it easier to keep doing it. All right. So J Money said BLM was the ones that ran into that church with Don Lemon, so I blame them. Well, you can blame them all you want. But the fact of the matter is they went into that church, and the only thing that Trump is worried about as it pertains to that church is Don Lemon. Okay? Because he doesn't like Don Lemon. At the end of the day, this is all going on because of BLM, and that's just the fact. Okay? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I assure you, because I already told you all this was going to happen when they first came out, talking crazy, talking about putting a hole in their chest as big as a window. Okay, so that's definitely what it is. Black Lives Matter went in there. Yeah, that's one thing, but this is something else. Okay, so let's get into what Don Lemon said when he responded to Nicki Minaj, aka MAGA Barbie. Okay, I'm going to share my screen because she posted some nasty things about him. And she's clearly sided with MAGA. All right, so let's get into it.
I'm of the Kendrick Lamar ilk. If you're going to do it, then do it with brains and sense and class, and that makes people think.
Hold on, honey. Let me put my overlay on here. Who do I think I am, just using Don's video all willy-nilly? Okay, here we go.
Well, do it in a Pulitzer Prize winning way. And she could never. So that's where I am with, and thank you, By the way, for that, Mariah Carey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, just to show you, my friend Godfrey also has a very similar take about Nicki Minaj. She's not the only one. A lot of folks are. A lot of folks have the same take, but there are people who are willing to say it, people with a platform. Ladies and gentlemen, the comedian and cultural thought leader, Godfrey.
What is going on? Black folks are so quick to sell each other out. We're so up. Black people, African, Caribbean, all of us, from colonialism, from sucking up to white folks, white supremacy. This is the results of this. All this Aunt Jemima you doing. You got these Aunt Jemima buck dancing ass Negroes will be in a heartbeat sell another black person out or dog them in person. It doesn't even connect right. Nicki's the type of person that if we were trying to escape from slavery, she'd be the first one to go like this. They're trying to leave. Can you believe that? They're trying to scab. See, here's the problem. You people keep showing up to her concerts. A lot of these celebrities that sell us out, you keep showing up to their concerts. You put money in their pocket. When you put money in people's pocket, that's when they act a goddamn fool. You understand? It's like going to one of those stores that disrespect black people. They disrespect you because you keep paying them. So if you stop paying her and show her as a group that we don't play that, it's all about money, guys. It's all about money. She must be getting some of her pedo relatives off of, I don't know, out of jail. I don't know. There's something like that that's happening. That's what people are saying. But I think that what Don, this video right now is just so great. And this is what Don is about. You come at him, he gonna come at you. Take a look.
Nicki Minaj should just sit down and by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? So Nicki Minaj, F off, stop being a homophobic bigot, and get a life and some brains.
I give a shout out to my brother Don Lemon. Ever since he left CNN, Don Lemon has been a force in journalism, activism, straight up. I'm telling you, I love the way Don is rolling now, man. And by the way, me and Don Lemon have the same barber. Shout out to my man Yusuf from New York City. Diamond Fades right there in New York, in Manhattan. Anyway, so ever since I was helping him on his podcast when he was campaigning for Kamala Harris, it's been a pleasure to work with him. The Don Lemon Show, being a lemon head. I mean, me, Jolly Ginger, D.L. Hughley, Joy Reid. It's great to be amongst all these great, political minds and stuff. And yeah, man. And Don don't let anybody talk to him. Don will be on the street, try to punk him. He'd be like, no, you. How about that? And it's nice to hear Don go, you.
You're a moron, dude. Thank you. So are you.
You know what I'm saying? And, Don is a real journalist, Real journalist. CNN always tried to pull him in, tried to stop him from doing it. But to see Don go, hey, everybody, it's Don Lemon Show. It's fantastic. It warms my heart. He's my brother from another mother. And I'm going to tell you something. You guys got him. You see, Don, he's the gay dude with the nice little hair. And he is from Louisiana. You don't see Southern folks, man. Southern folks got that thing in them. That meow in them. You know what I'm saying? Don will put the mojo on your ass. And Nicki Minaj coming at Don Lemon, you're reaching, Nicki. What is going on? Is you bipolar? Is it dementia? Is there a tumor on your brain?
No, it's desperation. Look, I don't know. Two things there. And Godfrey, thank you. I love you. And yes, we do have the same barber. Shout out to Yusuf. Yusuf, if he's watching, he's probably like, you need to come in right now because you got a little mini afro going. One, I didn't campaign for Kamala Harris. I supported her, but anyways, reporting on the thing, that's neither here nor there. And the other thing is that because Nicki Minaj has so many people who have such, how do we put this? Unsavory relationships with, either sexual assault or pedophilia, whatever in her family. Like there's sometimes people get it confused. So her husband is, according to reports, a sex offender. And according to the reports, her brother is a pedophile. Now that is a sexual assaulter or whatever. So that is according to the reports, allegedly. All right. Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, sentenced for failing to register as a sex offender in Los Angeles. So you know, then you have nerve to talk about someone's sexual or sex life or their sexuality. Honey, girl, Miss Thing. Please, Miss Thing. So I had time for it today. So anyway, and people believe that this is why Nicki Minaj is doing it. And we'll talk about the reports of that she's having trouble with her financing. That's going to come up with her finances, and she's going to lose her mansion and all of that. And that's why she's doing all these antics with becoming MAGA and with the Trump administration. So, you know, I'm just informing you as a journalist. I just want to inform you and put out the right information about that. Again, so here is just for sure, for clarification, her husband is a reported sex offender because of a case that he caught back in the day, and he has to register as a sex offender. And you saw the CBS News report that he failed to register and had to face the consequences. And according to reports, her brother allegedly is a pedophile, allegedly. So, and people believe that is why she is cozying up to the Trump administration to get some sort of leniency or pardon or something or whatever. And I believe her cousin may be incarcerated or has been incarcerated because of this. Again, reportedly, allegedly. So there you go. And so we're going to talk about that. And we're also, TMZ is going to be here to discuss Nicki Minaj, because, you know, when you discuss such things, you want to go to the people who discuss them and who know about them. The concern about her judge plans to force sale of Nicki Minaj's, this is according to Rolling Stone, $20 million mansion to pay security guards judgment. The rapper and her husband, who is reportedly a sex offender, has previously ordered to pay a security guard $500,000 for his broken jaw and other damages, but so far they have refused to pay, the man says. Now, just keeps.
Now, I want you to pay attention to something. First of all, her husband, that was just so reckless of him to hit that man in the face. First of all, he could have gone to jail. Second of all, of course, he should have known that because he's married to Nicki Minaj, they're going to get sued. And now they don't want to pay. I don't even think they went to court. Okay. But the interesting thing is, it was not a good move for Nicki to come for Don Lemon. Don Lemon is a whole journalist. Okay. He can go dig up all kind of stuff on her. All right. If there's anything that we didn't even know. All right. And then, of course, he's going to put you on blast. So she should have just kept her mouth shut. As far as I'm concerned, that was just a dumb move.
Scrolling up here. Here's the thing. So, you know, Nicki Minaj is about, see, Nicki, that's why I said you don't understand journalism. Nicki Minaj is about, you know, tweets and putting out little things. Let's first put this up. Hold that one, Andy. Hold off on that one. Put the tweet up about me. So this is what she tweeted about me in the wake of whatever. And she called me, you know, a sea-sucking lemon. This is disgusting. Why did she say that? Obviously, it's homophobic. How dare you? I want a thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. What Nicki Minaj doesn't understand is that I am a Christian. I wish I had my book here. I'm a Christian who wrote a book that released in September of 2024 about religion, Christianity, God. I don't pronounce Psalms, Sams, or.
Is that how Nicki pronounces it? Sams? In the tweet, she said, Don sucking lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. Now, I find this so interesting that she had the audacity to call Don Lemon a thug when her husband is a whole rapist, okay, and was convicted of as a whole felon, has to stay, you know, register where he lives and all of that, and then punch somebody in the jaw and broke their jaw. But she's calling Don Lemon a thug. Okay, make it make sense. Now, LeVar says Nicki's spending too much time online trying to check a B instead of checking into rehab. And she made a song in her 20s with sexual lyrics with a 16-year-old boy called Old Enough. I did not know that. Okay, you should look it up. I sure will. I did not know that, beloved. I do know that Madonna wrote in her book about a 14-year-old that she supposedly had something going on with, allegedly. But I didn't know this about Nicki Minaj. Honey, this is news to me. I guess because I don't really listen to her music like that, at least not enough to know the lyrics. But thank you for that information. I sure will look it up. And thank you for that tidbit of information. Someone's at the door, beloveds. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to let this continue playing. But thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings.
2 Corinthians, like her cult leader, Donald Trump. But she doesn't understand about journalism because she's all just about memes. And she picked the wrong doll for this tweet because it should have been a pick-me doll. Can we show you what a pick-me? This is a pick-me-up doll, but this is basically Nicki Minaj. It's a pick-me doll because they're always like, me, me, me. I sent it earlier, Andy, if you can get the picture of that. Yeah, that's the doll that should have been. Because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. So she doesn't understand. I have time as a journalist to give receipts and to give facts in a more meaningful and longer lasting way than just putting up a stupid tweet about something. Do you understand me? So I want to bring in now Charles Lataboudiere. He is the executive producer of TMZ, and he joins us now. Charles, can you hear me? Are you there? No, Charles? Okay. We'll get Charles's audio. Can someone connect with Charles? I'm going to text him. Hey, Siri. No, I was going to say I'll connect with Charles. So I have time for it. Hold on. Let me connect with Charles because I want to get him up real quick. And there we go. Can you hear us? Okay. So we'll get to Charles. Are you there, Charles? Can you hear us now? Yes? No? He's talking. Can you guys hear him, producers?
At booth.
Can you hear us, Charles?
You do hear.
Performance was so offensive. But I just want to roll this. If you just roll it and just for without sound, I want you guys to remember this is the 2012 Grammy Awards. She likes to love to talk about Christianity. This is the 2012 Grammy Awards and people who are offensive and all things about Christian. On the 2012 Grammy Awards, her performance was so offensive that the Grammys and others denounced her, and Christian organizations denounced her for the offensive nature of her performance and just how lackluster it was and how unthoughtful it was, how uncreative it was. And so she faced backlash for that, but she thought it was going to get her a lot of attention. And so that's enough. We're good. You don't have to roll anymore. But that's from that. And let's see the headlines from that. Because she cares about Christians so much. She's such a Christian. There are other headlines about how I think the Catholic League was upset with her. And a number of different organizations were upset with her. Let's try Charles again. Charles Lataboudiere. Is he there?
Don, how you doing?
I'm great. Why every time? Why is it we can never get the TMZ kid?
I know. I don't get it. We did a test like 45 minutes ago, and they said everything works.
Hey, no, not a problem.
It must be me. I don't know.
That happens. No worries. We're glad that you're here, Charles. Thank you for coming on. And let's talk about. You saw the offensive thing that she tweeted about me and continues to tweet. And it's not the first time she's done a lot of stuff that's just really off the charts. We're talking about the issues she's having with money, all the things that you guys have reported on. Reportedly having with money and with a security guard and a broke jaw, something about a broken jaw, $500,000. We was just talking about her 2012 very controversial Grammy performance. Christians, Catholics were really upset about it. Now she claims to be this Christian and is talking about people who apparently she doesn't think are very Christian-like or Christian enough. What is going on with Nicki Minaj?
I will say, Christianity is central to all of this, right? That was really the first domino where she very publicly started to support President Trump. That was her sort of tiptoeing into MAGA world when Trump came out and said that we were going to take military action if necessary in Nigeria to protect Christians who are allegedly being persecuted and massacred allegedly in Nigeria. And Nicki Minaj had already tweeted about that issue. And then when Trump started talking about it, she very publicly supported him and said and thanked him. That led to her speaking at the UN in New York City, and then she did sat down with Charlie Kirk's widow, with Erica Kirk, and full-throatedly said she is a supporter of President Trump and JD Vance and the administration. And then, you went and did your reporting this weekend, and then she felt like that was an attack on Christianity. So this is the thing she keeps coming back to. And you're right, it's interesting that that the Catholic Church has had issues with some of her performances in the past, but she seems to be forgetting about that and now fully embracing Christianity and the Trump administration, and anyone who she perceives as attacking those two things, she's going to go after them. I don't know if Donna, I was wondering if you saw her attempt to sort of, I don't know if even so much as walking back her comments about you. And she said that she only said it that way. She only used the homophobic language so that people would pay attention to what you had done, to the despicable acts that you had committed in Minneapolis, in her words.
You're muted, Don.
What do you think of that?
Sorry. Well, that's just dumb. And I mean, so I'm going to insult, because I'm upset about one thing, I'm going to insult another group. No, I mean, I just don't, honestly, I don't think Nicki Minaj is that smart. I think what she's smart at is creating outrage and doing things that are outrageous, because that works for her. That gets attention for her. She doesn't have the creativity and I believe the intelligence to be able to do something in an articulate way to gain some real attention and to bring light to a subject. What she's doing now is not going to bring light to anything. It's just going to be outrage. It's going to enrage people on social media. It's going to just divide people more.
Exactly. First of all, Nicki is full of crap. And what I find so interesting is the fact that, for one, don't try to walk it back now. But here's the thing: she already lost some of her rainbow community when she first joined MAGA, because we all know that Trump doesn't care for LGBTQ. Okay, we already know that the conservatives, many of them, are against it. So with that all being said, she already lost multiple followers then, and this just adds more to it. And I'm sure she didn't think, I don't know how she forgot, maybe, but I'm sure she did not think that Don Lemon would go dig up that Grammy show. Did you all remember that? I mean, it was so demonic. I literally had forgotten about it. I had forgotten all about it. Okay, because I didn't actually watch it, but I read about it when she was getting all the backlash. And is that the same one where she was levitating or something like that? It was all reeking of The Exorcist. I think I saw like a clip or something. I didn't see the whole performance because I didn't even know she had that guy up there on the stage like he was a priest. So the nerve of her to talk about Christianity and somebody disrespecting it by walking inside of a church, recording, because that's all Don Lemon was doing. He expressly stated multiple times while he was in there that I'm not here with the protesters. I'm just here to report on this. I'm a journalist. Okay? So I find that real interesting. Aqua Girl Rising said she didn't think exactly. Yeah, she clearly didn't. That's why I said a journalist is not the person for you to try to go in on. You know what kind of stuff they can go dig up on you? If there's anything to find, I'm sure they'll find it. Okay, so the joke's on her in this case. So with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, there was remember the pastor that they were in fact looking for when they walked into that church. Well, he wasn't there that day. He wasn't there on that day. Maybe he knew they were coming, I don't know. But it was Pastor David Easterwood. So, and he works for ICE, but also the pastor that they said that was actually there, now they've said that he also works for ICE. So I find this all interesting. So what does Nicki think about that? She doesn't think that's a problem, that the same people out here beating people in the streets, the same agents that took someone's life, she doesn't think it's a problem. The same agency that has people raping these women in detention centers. And think about it, if they're doing this to the women, what do you think they're doing to these people's children that are in those detention centers? What do you think they're doing to them? Okay, C-Stan, thank you, beloved. Blessings right back to you. Thank you for your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate you. And I also appreciate you too, LeVar. Thank you so much. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's get into it. Pastor is an ICE agent. Okay, let's go to this TikTok someone did about it. And she doesn't care about any of that, I guess. So no humanity. She's acting just like the MAGA minions.
Easterwood. Well, he is a pastor that was recently discovered by locals as field director of ICE. This pastor definitely did not love thy neighbor. This man was preaching the word of God while actively helping to tear families apart. Yes, David Easterwood, sometimes spelled Eastwood, is a pastor and serves as the field office director for ICE's enforcement and removal operations, Arrow, in St. Paul, Minnesota, overseeing operations in several Midwest states. He's known to be involved with City Church and holds a leadership role within the Department of Homeland Security's Immigration Enforcement Agency, linking his faith and federal service. Recently, protesters had stormed the church he preached at to put him on blast, but he was not there at the moment. Activists disrupted a church service in St. Paul after learning Pastor David Easterwood also serves as acting ICE field office director for Minnesota, overseeing immigration enforcement across multiple states. The protest highlights rising tensions over immigration, accountability, and the role of faith leaders tied to state power.
All nefarious, beloveds. Absolutely egregious. Okay, now let's go to a clip of Don Lemon actually at the church speaking with someone who was there. And you can just tell these people, I'm sorry, they were sitting right up in church, but clearly, I don't know what kind of Christians they are, but they didn't seem to have any compassion.
I agree with everybody's freedom to protest. These people have come into our house and they've interrupted our worship. If I was to break into any of their houses uninvited, I would be kicked out ultimately. It's not a good way.
They're saying that people are showing up at houses where they're citizens or without due process with a battering ram into someone's private property, and there's no recourse.
This is all part of a much larger dialogue. On one side are people who watched a previous administration bring 12 million people in over the course of 4 years. This is another administration's corrective. I think I could actually be sympathetic to some of the things where there have been challenges to compassion and decency. At the same time, these are what are called targeted interventions by ICE to keep the American people safe.
If I respectfully may interject here, I've been out reporting on a lot of these, and they're not targeted. There are no warrants signed by a judge. Most of the people that they detain don't have criminal convictions or criminal records.
I'm not going to get into the weeds.
You should know that, though. Don't you think that's part of it?
Yes, and I could also show you many opposing sides. I'm not saying it's pretty. This is a part of a much larger dialogue in which one administration caused a great deal of chaos and havoc and danger for American citizens, and another is trying to correct that.
Do you believe that? Why honestly,
Okay,
let me talk to you
listen,
just on the
you're not
facts.
a journalist.
Yes, I am. I want to give you the facts.
No.
That's the interesting thing about this, is that they won't listen to facts.
When you pose as a journalist,
I am a
and you
journalist.
ask me
Journalists give
questions,
facts.
and then you start correcting me with facts and don't have.
You shouldn't hear the facts?
Of course,
that
I
most
should hear
of the
the
people
facts.
who are picked up
But
are
will you
not,
give me the
have
facts on both sides?
That is the facts on both sides.
You know, I agree with everybody.
Now, I like his nerve. Now, he wanted Don Lemon to give him the facts on both sides. But when he was giving facts, or what he calls facts, he was only talking about one side. Okay, he was only talking about one side. And that's supposed to be a Christian. These are the Christian nationalists. Okay, that's what they must be. That's their version of Christianity, where you don't have any empathy and sympathy. Okay, and I want you all to pay attention, because at the end of the day, that's what Christianity is basically based on: empathy. Okay, having concern, love, and all of that for other people. Okay, just absolutely egregious. He's sitting there making all these asinine excuses, talking about ICE is out there trying to keep America safe. How are they keeping America safe when they're out there pummeling people who are Americans, who are literal citizens, who are not illegal, who are not criminals? How are they keeping America safe? Okay, they're not. He sounds like an old fool, and that's exactly what he is. Now let's go to this clip of a Brooklyn deacon who was detained by ICE. Is this man a criminal? I'm sure he is not. What about the man who they took outside in the cold yesterday? Okay, in Minneapolis. That poor man, they wouldn't even let him put on a shirt.
It is not true that ICE is coming for people who have criminal record. They're coming after everyone.
A stern warning issued by local officials and faith leaders the day after they say a beloved deacon was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. Sebastian Ordonez was taken into custody early Thursday as he stepped out of his Bensonhurst apartment. Community leaders say he was among a half dozen residents swept up in the morning operation that targeted this building on Bay Ridge Parkway.
He lived here. He was just going to work, and they were waiting out there with a coffee, picking up everyone who was coming out of this.
Councilwoman Susan Schwang represents the 43rd District where this happened. She says her office is trying to make sense as to why the deacon, who has been a prominent figure in the community for 17 years, was targeted.
The hand should be on criminals, but right now the story we hear is our neighbors.
For months now, concerns over ICE activity have been growing here in Bensonhurst, where immigrants make up more than half of the community. Officials say ICE has intensified operations in the last 2 weeks.
They go to the train station in New Utrecht and 18th Avenue, waiting at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm following a profile.
CBS News has obtained internal DHS data that shows throughout the U.S., ICE has more than 70,000 people facing deportation in its custody, the most in the agency's 23-year history. A spokesperson for DHS did not immediately respond to our request for comment in the case of Ordonez. This, as many here pray for his return home.
It is not true that...
Now we have this pastor by the name of Pastor Chappelle. He condemns Don Lemon and he wants Don locked up, just like Nicki Minaj and Trump do. Okay, so let's go to what he has to say. But all of these people are Christians. I find it interesting because aren't Christians supposed to be so forgiving?
Minneapolis, Minnesota, a group of activists led by Don Lemon stormed a Baptist church by the name of Cities Church during their work.
Okay, first of all, they were not led by Don Lemon. That's for number one. They absolutely were not led by Don Lemon. Now, he's already lying.
Worship time. They were screaming and chanting, disrupting the singing and the preaching because they suspected an ICE officer may attend the church. This is a violation of what is known as the FACE Act. And not only do we condemn this act, but tonight, I want to demand that the Department of Justice investigate what took place in Minneapolis, apprehend those who broke the law, and arrest them accordingly. We must protect religious liberty in this country.
Well, I certainly agree with that, but my question is this. While ICE is out here harassing, detaining, and brutalizing Christians, like that pastor they sprayed in the face a few months ago, like that deacon we just heard from. And there's another pastor that I'm going to play in a second, okay, where he got into it with ICE. Okay, so what do these pastors, or this one specifically, who wants Don Lemon arrested, how does he feel about that? About his fellow colleagues, other pastors who are innocent, okay, who are citizens being targeted by ICE? How does he feel about that? I'll bet you he doesn't give a darn. Okay? Is that the Christian way? I have several questions. Now here's Trump talking about Don being arrested.
Do is get them out of our country, bring them to their prisons and jail. All ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to their prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. All ICE wants to do is get that.
Wow, leave it to Trump to paint such a fictitious narrative. He said he saw the way Don went in there, and then he said the pastor was accosted. You snatched him up. He wasn't accosted. Sit down somewhere. All ICE wants to do is get them out of our country. Well, okay, if that's what they were doing, is getting people who are criminals who are here illegally, that's one thing, but they're attacking everyday working people. And here's the thing, besides the fact that they're not bringing warrants, remember we saw the other day they had a warrant that wasn't even official, okay? The woman, unfortunately for her, didn't look at it good before she allowed them in. But at the end of the day, while they're out here on the prowl, how are they supposed to know who the criminals are anyway? See, that's why they're out here just racially profiling these people, okay? Because they don't have, they don't have a list. They don't have warrants. They're not doing things by the right. They're not doing things lawfully. But, Trump lets them do whatever. They have immunity, I guess, so they can just handle it however they want to. And I don't even really think anything serious is going to happen to these ICE agents who assault these people while they're in detention centers. I don't think anything's going to happen to them. They can tell us whatever.
Literally came over to me and said, "What did you say?" I said, "I am not afraid." And they pointed a gun in my face. ICE put handcuffs on my hands and put me in a black SUV. And then a few moments later, they came back and they said, "Are you afraid yet?" And I said, "No." And then they said it. "Well, you're white. You wouldn't be fun anyway." It was then that I knew that this staging, that these ICE raids are really about fear and intimidation.
Y'all hear that? He said, "You're white. You wouldn't be fun anyway." And see, that's what I'm talking about. These white people are not oppressed out here. They'll harass them only because they're out there protesting with the other people, okay? Or they're out there just in their way like they felt like Renee was. But at the end of the day, they're not the target ever, okay? They're not ever the targets. Said that it wouldn't be fun because you're white. Yeah, because they're not going to beat them or do the things to them, rape them or whatever. They're not going to do all those things to them. Unless they absolutely have to or feel that they have to. Now, this is a veteran calling for ICE agent pastor to resign.
The opposite of Christianity. You cannot be an ICE agent and be a pastor. My name is William Kelly. I'm a combat infantry veteran. I'm a patriot. I'm a defender of human dignity. But we went in there and we preached the words of Jesus at them. Jesus said to love thy neighbor. Jesus said to welcome aliens from faraway places. But we're terrorists? They're calling me a professional agitator now. Well, yes, I am. I am an agitator because people need to be agitated. What they're doing to this nation is unconstitutional. It is inhumane. It is treason. It is disgusting. That is a white supremacist church. As long as that pastor is allowed to preach there, it is a hateful church. Those are not Christians. Those are evil people if they support that.
They call themselves Christian nationalists. Okay, this is a sad day. Now let's talk about these different Black Panther parties popping up, okay? First, I'm going to go to this video of this black man who sounds crazy. He's sitting there trying to go all off because he's upset because General Mike Payne was saying he's not going to be out there fighting and putting his people in harm's way. Okay, he's the only one of these Black Panther members that makes any sense to me. The rest of them just sound crazy.
National leader of the original Black Panther Party here. We have received many emails from people asking what is our official stance on the ICE situation. I need you all to listen and understand what I'm telling you. We, the original Black Panther Party, in good conscience cannot risk life and limb of our people for groups of people who have not risked life and limb for us.
So this is a video of a young man claiming to be an original Black Panther who says he won't stand with Somali people or other oppressed groups because they didn't stand with us during George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. That's not Panther politics. That's grievance politics, young man. All right, let's get one motherfucking thing straight before people start confusing history with ego. The original Black Panther Party of the 60s and 70s did not teach conditional solidarity. All right. They did not teach scorekeeping, and they did not teach Black superiority disguised as trauma. They taught internationalism, anti-imperialism, and
I think we heard from this fool the other day, but I want you all to pay attention because he sounds real crazy. Okay. He sounds real crazy at the end of the day. So by his logic, it would be fine for them to go and fight next to the KKK. What do y'all think? Now, by his logic, he's saying that if the KKK decided, okay, let's take off our hoods and y'all come and join us and fight together, that's what he'd be willing to do. You heard what he said? He said, we're talking about grievances, and that the Black Panther Party didn't talk about conditional unity or whatnot. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, they weren't out there protecting and defending any people besides Black people. You won't find that anywhere in history. You won't find video footage. You won't find any pictures or any of that because it didn't happen. Now they want to use this rainbow coalition stuff to try to push that false narrative. The fact of the matter is, as I told you all, they did work together with other minority groups, immigrants, and poor white people in their communities. Yes, they all did rally together. They were not out there armed protecting these people. What did Huey tell them? Start your own, because they asked back then, could they join? And he would tell them, no, start your own. You see, this is the reason. You see, here's the thing. They're conflating, okay, the Rainbow Coalition with their own ideology. Because the fact of the matter is, the reason they had the Rainbow Coalition is because they weren't going to let those people join the Black Panther Party. Y'all want to help? Y'all want to work together? Okay, fine. We're going to come up with an organization that all of us can work together with. We're not going to put you in the Black Panther Party. That's for my people. So they started the Rainbow Coalition with all of these different people from the community. Okay, that's how that went. Okay, and then as I told you, and I showed you all the receipts the other day, they told them to start their own stuff, and the white people started the White Panther Party. All right, so with that all being said, people like him want to act like other people don't know history, when in fact, either he doesn't know history or he's trying to paint a narrative. He's twisting it so that it fits his talking points. Okay, I don't know if he's just ignorant to the facts or he's just saying what he wants to say. Now, let's go to these other Black Panthers because I don't know who they are and where the hell they came from. Okay, let's get into it. I don't know if they're with that same guy, Paul Birdsong. They look like some different ones. Black Panther leader challenges ICE leader and his IG baddies to a celebrity boxing match during a protest at the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois. Okay, these are clearly not the same ones. Okay, they're from somewhere else. Let's get into it.
Y'all put it like this. Y'all put it like, you know what ICE is? ICE is the new IG baddies. You know how you got the IG baddies and somebody give them like a couple bands and they go out and hoe? ICE and the state police is the new IG baddies. They give them a little incentive, so we're going to give you $50,000 and they come out and be hoes. Then they give them another $30,000 to be hoes. ICE, I want y'all to know y'all are the new IG baddies. And to Greg Bavano, you're the biggest IG baddie. You better than any IG baddie they got out there. You come out in a G.I. Joe uniform, you think you cool, but I'm going to say this. Lawfully speaking, not no terrorist criminal stuff. If you're really bad, I will challenge you to a celebrity match. Yeah. Take off all the uniforms. We can go in the ring, me and you. But here's the challenge. No terrorist stuff, no threat. I'm not into that stuff. Lawfully speaking. Me and you, Greg Bavano, let's arrange a match. You take off all the uniform, we put on gloves. Now here's the deal. If I win, you take ICE and all the hoes with you, you get the fuck out of Chicago, get the fuck out of Broadview, get the fuck out of Illinois. And if you win, I won't say nothing else.
Clearly clout chasing. That just all sounds like, you know, that just sounds like clout chasing to me. Okay, grandstanding, if you will. Now, here is another one with the same guy. The Revolutionary Black Panther Party leader tells the crowd to repeat the names of those who died at the hands of ICE, but he couldn't pronounce some of the names. You know why he couldn't pronounce some of the names? Because he's not saying Black people's names. He's saying the immigrants. okay, that got killed, basically, and he couldn't even pronounce the names. Why didn't he go over the names first? Okay, and then out here talking about say their names. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share.
Immigrant brothers and sisters, victims of this, and survivors of it. Let's go with it. These are the names of those who we know have died at the hands of these brute terrorists, ICE, over the past year. When I say their names, I want you to repeat their names. Is that good? January Ruiz Green from Honduras. Shedeur Gazin Dejani, 45, from Ethiopia. Say his name. Just say Sirwit. Just say the first name. These are immigrant brothers and sisters, victims of this, and survivors of it. Let's go with it. These are the names of those who we know have died at the hands of these brute terrorists, ICE, over the past year. When I say their names, I want you to repeat their names. Is that good?
Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all see that white man held up a sign said, just shoot me? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm not going out there with them. That's why I'm not going out there with them. Do y'all see that holding up a sign that says, just shoot me? Okay, y'all see that, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. These are the same people, the same type of people that were at the Capitol acting a whole fool. I want to be out there with them? No, I sure don't. Okay, I sure don't. But let's continue.
Ruiz Green from Honduras. Shedeur Gazin Dejani, 45, from Ethiopia. Say his name. Just say Sirwit. Just say the first name.
Now, for some reason, he said the Ethiopian man who was 45 said his name twice. Okay, rest in peace to anyone who lost their life due to ICE and their nefariousness. Okay, rest in peace to any of them. But at the end of the day, I'm not going out there with people holding up damn signs talking about just shoot me. Okay, inviting trouble. Okay, and see, that's the thing. You have people that are out there woefully ignorant. Okay, and then you have people out there just doing too much, overzealous, just like some of the ICE, out there saying crazy stuff, just like that fool Paul Bird song, out there making threats and then dragging Black people into it. Like, miss me with it. It's all ignorance. Okay, with that all being said, let's continue. Now, here they are out here marching. I'm going to mute the sound because it has music, but they're out here marching. And when I saw this, I wasn't sure if this was Black Panther members or NFAC, because this looks like Grandmaster Jade's people. But, you know, and whoever posted this is clearly Mexican or Spanish speaking. Okay, you can see from the caption. She Built Journal said, Queen, you got to look this guy up. He's a joke. He went from wannabe rapper to wannabe gangbanger to wannabe Nation of Islam to wannabe Black Panther. Shaking my head. Now, are you talking about the young man with the locks or Paul Bird song? Because I've already shown how he definitely was trying to infiltrate Pyru. They said they ran him up out of California. And I know that he also did want to be a rapper. I talked about that previously. I did a whole thing on him. I've done like 2 videos on him already and TikToks. Okay, so y'all can see this. They are out here marching. Okay, I find it all interesting. Now, I muted the volume. For some reason, I think this is NFAC. I really think this is NFAC. And by the fact, especially that someone who's an immigrant posted this, they may have just seen this footage and thought it was the Black Panther Party. Because when NFAC was out, there were people who were non-Black when they did their formation here in Atlanta that were calling them the Black Panther Party. So I just think this, I don't know if this is them or not. I haven't seen them doing all of this. And that many, I think that's definitely NFAC, don't y'all? That's what I think that was. Now, that all being said, let's go to this next clip with this elder. Now, this is who you listen to. You see, here's the thing. Some people can't tell people anything, right? This I am saying, you're so right, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay. Byron said NFAC 2.0. That was definitely NFAC. I know the Black Panthers are not out there with that many people, I wouldn't think. Okay, with all of them carrying guns, I don't think so. Okay, so now with that all being said, this elder talks about his thoughts on the Black Panther Party. And one thing about it is some people don't want to just listen when we try to sound the alarm and tell them things. So if you don't listen to anybody, please listen to your elders, okay? Please listen to your elders because they know more than we do, 9 times out of 10. Specifically when it comes to things like this, because they've been here, right? And they've seen it. They lived during the time of the real Black Panther Party for self-defense.
They say that the new Black Panthers are up in Philly armed and saying that they are there to confront ICE, to keep ICE out of the neighborhoods. Now, firstly, I'm just wondering, maybe they need to FA and FO, firearm federal officers. We all know how that's going to end. But the bigger question is this here. I had a cousin who was in the Panthers back in the 60s. Then they fought for the rights of people who were guilty of nothing more than just being Black. Now, that's who the Black Panthers protected, but these new Black Panthers seem to be protecting criminals. These people have broken the laws of this nation, and yet they're protecting them. And I got news for some of you new Black Panthers. A lot of these people don't like you. They don't like Black people at all, at all. And all people, all Americans, white, Black, red, yellow, whatever color, we don't like the idea of our nation's borders being violated like this right here. So why are you protecting criminals? Why? I mean, you used to be protecting people who were not criminals. So why are you doing this right here? It makes me wonder, you know, you need to let the federal law enforcement do what it's supposed to do. You know, a lot of these people don't belong here, and they're taking away scarce resources. Think about it like this here. A lot of those resources could be going to the people that the original Black Panthers were formed to protect. Think about that. Hit the like button.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So if you don't want to listen to anybody, listen to the elders. They're not going to tell you wrong. Now, with that all being said, here is a person of a non-Black person trying to talk about, you know, trying to school people on the Black Panther Party. Now, here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention because this is important. I want you all to really pay attention because I told you all days ago when Paul Birdsong with his fraudulent self came out, I told you all that because he came out and said that they were going to be protecting and defending all people, no matter your race or ethnic group, I said all these people who don't look like us, we're praising them. We're big upping them. Oh, thank you, thank you. This is exactly what we need. A Karen was even saying, can we get more of this? See, they're on the bandwagon when it benefits them. And I also told you, if he had come out saying all that same stuff, talking about what he's going to do to ICE, and said that he was going to protect and defend Black people and hadn't mentioned anybody else, they would be mad. They would be upset. And this video right here proves it. This video I'm about to show you proves it. Okay, so please pay attention. Because why is this man mad on the video? He's mad because he saw General Mike Payne, the opposing Black Panther leader, who said he's not helping anybody. He's not putting black people, he's not going to tell black people to go out there and put them in harm's way. He's only defending his own people. See, he didn't like that. None of them do. So they want to call General Payne a fraud, but act like Birdsong's the real one. Please pay attention. And this is exactly what I was talking about.
4 hours ago today, as I'm posting this account on Facebook called Mike Payne comes up there claiming they're the original Black Panther Party, and that they don't support the Philadelphia, the people in Philadelphia who are calling themselves the Black Panther Party for self-defense. They don't support their position of defending the immigrants, being against ICE and against what ICE is doing to the communities. Now, I just want to let you know, historically and modern day factually, that is incorrect. And, you know, that they are frauds, you know, plain and simple. And I'm not the only one saying this, you know. I'm just telling you, my viewers, because you may not have anyone else you following to tell you about this stuff. But basically, they're saying this guy Mike Payne goes up, says we're the original Black Panther Party and we can't risk our life and limb to help people who never helped us. Where were the immigrants when Breonna Taylor and Trayvon Martin? And I'm just like, that is so ridiculous. I mean, all the protests that have been done for all these different things, they have definitely had immigrants in them. And
they may have had a few immigrants sprinkled in, okay, but at the end of the day, most of the immigrants weren't. And sir, I guarantee you weren't out there. Okay, I guarantee you he wasn't out there. And who the hell does he think he is to tell us who's a fraud? We'll decide which Panther Party is the fraud. Okay, not you. Okay, because you want the ones that are going to sit there and say they're going to defend you. Right at the end of the day, you don't get to tell us who the frauds are, sir. That's what you don't get to do. Okay, it's the audacity. And then you had one of them on TikTok, like he's giving us a whole history lesson about the Black Panther Party that our people created. Okay, why don't you get up there and tell us about the history of the Klan? But you don't want to talk about that when you're trying to get Black folk to fight with you and for you. Please pay attention.
And besides all that, the original message of the Black Panther Party is solidarity. You know, the original Black Panther Party, which was what this Mike Payne and his group based out of Virginia claimed to be, they had the Rainbow Coalition. They brought together white people, brown people, and Black people. Poor, white, brown, and Black people from the community, all having their own organizations, coming together in a coalition for community self-defense and to organize mutual aid, you know.
Now you heard what he said, right? You heard what he said, right? He said for community self-defense and to organize and all this stuff. Here's the thing. That's what I told you all. And that's all it was. Okay. They got together in their communities and they did organize and talked about how they're going to do things for their people. Okay. But there was no Black Panthers out there armed to the teeth defending those people. They were supposed to defend themselves. Okay. So I'm sorry, but he's got the game effed up.
To organize how they all can work together because they realize they're all oppressed. And that's where the original Black Panthers, being a socialist party inspired by Mao Zedong and the Chinese Communist Party and what they achieved, that's where all that comes in. You know, it's socialism, communism. It's not a philosophy of us first, worry about no one else. It's a philosophy of realizing that all of the oppressed, all of the working class, white, brown, Black, we all have.
He sounds crazy as hell. Okay, there ain't no such thing as nothing. We don't put ourselves first. Okay, is he crazy? Because as last I checked, people who look like him always put themselves first. Okay, for the most part. Sorry, what? So we're not supposed to put ourselves first. I want y'all to pay attention to the ignorance of that, because they always put themselves first, do they not? And he likely voted for Trump. I guarantee you he did. Does he look like he voted for Kamala? Do you think he voted for Kamala? I'm sorry. Okay. Jupiter says, does he have a black accent? No, beloved, he has an accent. Okay, I can't recognize it sounds familiar. I can't figure where that accent comes from, but he's an immigrant. Okay, he has an accent because he's an immigrant. I don't know where he's from, but at the end of the day, he needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, he sounds crazy, and so did that black idiot who was sitting up there talking about the Rainbow Coalition and all this and that, and acting like and talking about we're having grievance politics or whatever he said it was. Like we're not supposed to put ourselves first. I'm sorry, what? It's always going to be my people first. I don't give a damn what anybody says. That's just what it is. I'd be a fool not to. White people have always historically put their people first, and they should. It's their people. Everybody should put their people first, sir. Are you insane? Because you sound like it.
Have a common enemy in the people at the top who make all the decisions, take all of our wealth that we create with our labor.
Who's taking his wealth? Who in the hell's taking his wealth that he creates with his labor? Sorry, what? Now this is really getting on my nerves because now he's trying to liken his struggle to ours. Here's the thing. Some of those people are marginalized groups and minorities. Well, we know that they are the immigrants and all of that, but they get a whole lot more benefits when they come here than we even do. And we were born here. Okay? We were born here. So I'm sorry, taking his wealth. What are they taking? They took our wealth. Are you serious? They took our land. They took our homes. They took whatever the hell they wanted. They took 200 acres from my family, okay, in the 60s. They took land from the natives. All right, if y'all haven't seen that movie Killers of the Flower Moon about the Osage Indians, they took their land too. They had these white men fooling the Indian squaws and marrying them, tricking them, and then murdering them so they could have their land, so they could inherit it. Okay, please sit down somewhere, sir. And let's not even talk about the $5 Indians who paid people $5 at the courthouse to list them as natives. That's why some of the natives that you see today, quote unquote natives, they're supposed to be natives that you see today, that's why they don't look like the real natives or us. Okay, because some of us are indigenous here too. African Americans. So with that all being said, he sounds real crazy, but let's continue.
And the real original Black Panthers understood that. So like I said, the real original Black Panthers focused on helping all oppressed peoples and lifting all oppressed peoples together up in solidarity. Number two, yes, immigrants, brown people, immigrants from all races have been part of the protests, have been part of the movements against police brutality that have happened in the past decade. So I just wanted to come up here and let you guys know that, because I did make a video. My last video, I was saying, go look them up. You know, you have to make sure you're looking at the right Black Panthers. And because this has blown up and become such a big thing, there's been news outlets covering the group in Philadelphia. And for those that don't know, the group in Philadelphia is who I'm looking towards, who I think you should look towards, learn more about, and see what they're actually doing. And I would actually like to do a YouTube video, so look for that. It might not be for a while, but you know, I want to do a video showing you the history and showing you how that connects to the modern day, because after the death of Fred Hampton and, you know, suppression of the Black Panther group, other groups did splinter off, okay? And some of these groups were nationalists, meaning they're not coming from a message of socialism and all of us coming together to have a better world for all the races who are stuck under the boot, under the oppression of the actual enemy, the capitalists.
Sir, where is your organization where you are fighting for everybody to come together? Okay, why is everything always supposed to fall on the shoulders of Black folk? These people sitting here whining, groveling, and complaining, they've not done the same. Why don't they just start their own organization and do what they want to do? But no, It's always so much more convenient to get Black people to do it. No, I'm sorry, get somebody else to do it. Okay, find somebody else to do it because we're not with it. I'm not going out there and doing a damn thing, period. That's what I'm not doing. Okay, and I'm going to show you a video in a moment that further made me say hell to the no, no, no. Okay? Now let's let him continue because he thinks he's cooking.
These nationalist Black Panther groups who took the name Black Panther and made a completely different ideology saw Black liberation as you know, a separate thing from the liberation of all peoples, which it's not, you know, and so.
Now, how you can just solve this whole thing right here? He's spewing total, exactly, natural way, total misinformation, beloved, like you said, because here's the thing. It was all about Black liberation. They were not trying to liberate these other people. They were schooling these people. Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton, they were schooling these people on how to liberate themselves, not the white folk, because the white folk didn't need liberating. But these other groups, they were just telling them what to do for themselves, aiding them, telling them how to help themselves, how to strategize and what to do, and telling them to form their own groups. That's called community. We all live in the same community, whether we're different races and ethnic groups. We can all sit down at the table and have discussions and talk about our strategies and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. That doesn't mean that if something happens to your people, I'm going to get my guns to come jump in the line of fire. Okay, that was never what they were about. So this is absolutely total misinformation. He's painted a narrative and he's saying, saying these things how he wants to say it. And here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised, beloveds, if that guy Paul Birdsong, just like we think that he is an agent likely sent by the government, who knows, but if so, if he's a plant, like I suspect, and many of us suspect, they could also be sprinkling in other people like him, for example, to put out more propaganda and to spew the same thing to try to discredit General Mike Payne and any other Panther leaders who are speaking on his talking points, okay, to try to justify or validate the ones that are talking like Birdsong. And Birdsong's a whole liar. Okay, remember what I told you all yesterday about him. I'm going to go to a TikTok that I did about him real quick after these next videos.
So they weren't in solidarity with all the other groups, and they only fought for Black empowerment, you know, and not necessarily in a socialist sense, you know. And so, you know, I got to go back and study more and, refresh my research, and I hope to do that and make a YouTube video. So check me out on YouTube. I actually do have a really good video about democracy, even though.
Sir, shut up. Now listen to this. Okay, I'm going to go to this clip, this next clip, but really listen to this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
They never run up on me. I guarantee you that when I put a hole in their chest the size of a window, safe line repair, safe line replace, that's what's gonna happen when they touch me. Our woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, fucking run and find out. We're accountable. The Black Panther Party was self-defense. We're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now. You did carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care of them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because ICE agents ain't gonna act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means if shotgun shells are shoot out of a pump, it shoots them rapidly.
So the crisis actors are out, family. Again, the crisis actors are coming out. They see that we're not coming out. They see we're not protesting. They see we staying home. Black Americans staying home. They're minding their business. So what they're going to do is have the crisis actor or cosplayers come and use our plight, our Black Panther plight, to come and cosplay as us. This is how badly they want us to go out there, right? And so not only are they using that plight, they're doing everything that's against the Black Panthers. This is nothing like the Black Panthers of the old. Members of the original Black Panther Party have long insisted that the newer party is illegitimate, with many declaring there is no new Black Panther Party. The original Panthers, founded in 1960 by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, dissolved in 1982. The quote-unquote new Black Panther Party, allegedly, again, this is not just saying alleged, founded in the 1990s, the MBPP has been widely criticized as a separate extremist organization, with the Southern Poverty Law Center and other organizations designated as an H group. Original Panthers argue that the MBPP has discarded their original. We're gonna, I guess, the original idea, original ideology, right? Original BPP in America. The original Black Panther Party was a revolutionary organization that sought to change American society fundamentally rather than simply separating from it. They advocated for community control, and their 10-point program demanded decent housing, education, and the end to police brutality, often focusing on the right of Black Americans as residents of the United States. So this was us centralizing on ourselves. They're not going out there for no other group, especially for no white, respectfully, for no white teen woman that got, right? So what are they doing over there? But let's keep it going. The distinction between the original 1960s era Black Panther Party and the new Black Panther Party is a point of contention, often highlighted by surviving original members who maintain that the two organizations had completely different ideologies and goals. Of course, there's links to this, family, but I don't have time to click the links. I know this AIO will, but there's links to this. My point is, these people are not Black Americans. These people, I don't know who these people are. I don't know who this new Black Panther Party is. This got nothing to do with the original Black Panther. Everything they're doing is against the Black Panther Party. Family, this is the symptoms of COINTELPRO. If you look at COINTELPRO, I want y'all to study COINTELPRO in every group. If they want to be silly and go out there because Somali's frauded, and then we got a white teen woman that want to go travel miles away and mind the Somali business, it get pew-pewed in the face, and then they want to go and protest for her, that's on them. We minding our Black American business. That's it. If y'all understand the psychological warfare, family, and how people trying to get you out there so bad, how the immigrant class trying to get you out there so bad, how COINTELPRO trying to get you out there so bad, how everybody trying to get you out there so bad, even to the point where now they're utilizing psychological warfare, using our plight, our Black American plight, our Black Panthers plight to make you go out there and feel like y'all better.
That's right. Don't let them trick you. The end of the day, I mean, they are so desperate. Okay, they are so desperate. So for any Black people who live in any of the areas where they have ICE deployed, okay, I know you're not going to be out there in the streets protesting, but if they're coming to people's jobs now, thanks to Paul Burt's song, in my opinion, as I said, if they're coming to people's jobs now asking, or targeting Black and brown people, then make sure you have your birth certificate, a copy of it, or something that proves that you are from this country, that you were born here, so they can get the H on. Okay, now with that all being said, I'm going to go to my TikTok that I did, and then I'm going to go to Misha Newton, Huey P. Newton's niece, and we're going to hear what she had to say. Okay? Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Now, that was Paul Birdsong, the chairman of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Now he's walking all of that back and saying that's not exactly what he said, that someone chopped and spliced the audio. Let's get into it.
You know, that ain't what happened. If you look at the video, you see I'm talking, and then he cuts to another scene, instead of showing me talking straight through, because it was chopped and spliced. So what I said was, if an ICE agent run up on me, whatever force they use against me, I'm going to use equal force to defend myself. Ain't nobody taking me nowhere or doing nothing to me. Then after that, I said, anybody runs up on me, anybody tries to do anything to me, I put a hole in the size of a window, safe light repair, safe.
Okay, now he did not say all of that. We heard what he said, but he's claiming that it was chopped and spliced. I find it very interesting. You see, this is further proof for me that he's a whole fraud. I never believed it in the first place. And now we have all of these different Black Panther Party groups popping up in different places. I find it all very interesting because where have they been before now? Okay, please make it all make sense. I'm not falling for any of this. It's reeking of government agents. Now, with that all being said, here's something else that he had to say.
If you get legally arrested for something you did, I can't really say nothing. You know, if you went to a country, no matter what country you were in illegally, and they find out and they deport you, that's on you.
If you go to whatever country and they find out you're there illegally and they find out and they deport you, that's on you. But I thought the other day he was talking about how he's going to protect and defend all the oppressed people, specifically the immigrants. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. People have got to stop believing everything they hear somebody saying online just because it sounds good. You see, people believe what they want to believe, and many people wanted to believe that someone was coming to save them, and they thought it was going to be the Black Panther Party. Well, they're out there talking all big, but let's not forget that just a few years ago, okay, there was another group out there doing the same thing. They were called the NFAC, and they were led by none other than Grandmaster Jay, who also turned out to be a whole fraud, and I was the first person to call him out. And so many people who look like me went in on me for doing so because they believed in him. But yeah, he was a whole fraud. Okay, likely working for the CIA. Now he's nowhere to be found, and they claim he went to prison and all of this. We have to stop falling for the shenanigans. But the good news is most of the people who look like me now know better because I've seen most of us calling out these fraudulent Black Panther Party members. Okay, and so with that being said, everybody stay safe and please stop believing everything you hear and getting all excited thinking someone's coming to save you, because I promise you no one is.
Okay, no one's coming to save us, honey. It's just us. All right. Now, Vince I am Vince I am says, Wigs, pay attention and learn from the real queen of receipts. Vince, you are so nefarious. Okay, you are so nefarious. Now, with that all being said, Terry Lee King. All right, hey Terry. Terry said we are on break. Okay, exactly. Okay, we're on vacation. They're gonna miss us with it. Now let's see what Huey P. Newton's niece. I haven't seen this video. I literally just saw it when I was pulling up this last video. I just happened to click on something and that popped up. Somebody must have sent it to me. Okay, here we go.
I'm going to try to make this video as calmly as possible. My name is Maisha Newton. My father's name was Walter Newton. He was the brother of Huey Percy Newton, who started the Black Panther Party in Oakland, California. Okay? My handle name is Maisha 415 Newton. I got birth certificate, paperwork, and a whole bunch of Newtons who are ready to listen. This goes out to the Black Panther Party, the new United Black Panther Party, whoever's out there protesting with these Somalians. I'm about to get a cease and desist order against you, and I'm about to sue you because you guys you are not going to defame my uncle's name like that. We're not doing that. See you in court, bitches.
Okay, now she said she was going to try to make it as calmly as possible. Okay, please pay attention. All right. Soulfully Sowing Seed says, hold on, where did that comment go? I literally just saw it. It said a serious sabbatical. Okay. Dynamic Quality said, Queen, a lot of Black people are mixed race. Yeah, that's fine. But if you're mixed race, that means you're Black. Okay, that means you're Black. And if you're joining any of those groups, then you should be worried about Black people. Okay, I'm sorry, because white people, if you're mixed with Black and white people are not oppressed. White people are not oppressed. Okay, they're not. And if you're mixed with something else, you're still Black. So you still should be on the side of Black people and out there with Black people. That's how that goes. And if you want to go out there with other people, that's fine too. But don't expect us to follow you. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm Black, blackity black. Okay, that's what I get. How about y'all? How about y'all? Now, with that all being said, let's go to this next video. And here's another thing that set me off. And I said, oh, honey, please, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay? I can't. Do you all remember about 2 months ago, I believe it was? I believe it was about 2 months ago. Because I have a cousin, okay, who's biracial. Her father is white. Okay. Mind you, I was going to say something. I don't know if the family's going to get mad. Well, I'm going to say it anyway because it's the truth. Her father's white, and he was a PDF file because he was messing with my aunt when she was a teenager, like 15 or 16. Okay. So I have a cousin who's biracial. Now, if she was to be out there, I can guarantee you she would be on our side, not out there talk crazy like Paul Birdsall. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's get into it because here's another thing that ticked me off. Now, you all remember about 2 or 3 months ago when they were talking about the Purple Revolution? Do y'all remember that? Once in the chat. Once in the chat, if y'all remember a couple of months ago when they were talking about the Purple Revolution, okay, they were talking about people from both parties joining forces, whether you were a Democrat or a Republican, okay, and this was some of the MAGA people who were mad with Trump because of the Epstein stuff and other things like the economy, things that they've now found out and see that Trump lied to them about. And so they all wanted to join forces. And so someone was telling me, well, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do. We got to all join forces. And I said, me? Join forces with MAGA? Yeah, I think I'd rather go to battle by myself. Now, that might sound crazy, but that's just how I feel right about now. Okay? That's just how I feel right about now. And so that all been said, I did a video, if you all remember, and the title was F, a Purple Revolution. Okay, so that offer still stands as far as I'm concerned. Now let's continue. And especially when I continue to see and hear things like this. Let's get into it. Okay, Byron said, I think not. Exactly. Listen to this. It's the disrespect of it all for me. Okay, imagine going out there to fight and defend somebody like this. Imagine helping someone like this flee. Okay, like that guy that helped Jake Lang flee the other day. Listen to what he says.
Why are we celebrating MLK Day? Do we not realize what kind of person he was? Now you can get mad at me and go, oh, racism or whatever.
Am I missing something? The last time I checked, no one's celebrating MLK Day because Martin Luther King was a great father. Am I missing something? Last time I checked, no one is checking for MLK's theological.
Hold on. Now, unfortunately, I just realized I got the wrong darn video. I got the clip where this guy stitched him. But on the actual video, because I saw this video first, this is what made me go to the white guy's full video. That's the one I wanted to show you all because he was talking so much trash about Dr. King, saying that Dr. King cheated on his wife with 40 women, said that he actually raped someone. That's what he said. He was saying all kinds of stuff. Okay, and then the people who look like him, who are just as racist as he is in the comments, because see, here's the thing. When somebody says, oh, y'all might say this is racist. Oh, you might say I sound racist. Oh, this isn't racist, but it's always a racist that's going to say that. Anyone who isn't racist and doesn't have racism on their mind, they don't need to preface what they're going to say with that. But that lets you know he's racist. But all of the racist people who look like him in his comments were eating it all up and loving it and cheering him on. Okay, and basically said, yeah, but they were mad because we compared him to Charlie Kirk. Oh, but they had so much to say about Charlie Kirk. That's the type of stuff they were saying. So when I saw that, that really ticked me off. And I said that somebody who looks like him or this guy, people who look like him are trying to school us, Black people, on the Black Panther Party for self-defense all of a sudden and think I'm supposed to get out there and boots on the ground and throw myself in the line of fire. Yeah, okay.
Beliefs. That's not why we celebrate Martin Luther King's Day, sir. We celebrate it because he was a man who fought and died so that the blacks in America and the indigenous in America and those brown and colored people groups could have the freedoms that we have today, sir. That's why we celebrate it, sir. It's easy for you to attack his character. It's easy for you to go after his theology. But it's funny how you didn't bring up anything he's actually done for our people and to give us the freedoms that we have today. You're a hypocrite, sir. Because if you're going to tell us we can't celebrate MLK, then we can't celebrate America. Because we'd have to bring up all the horrendous things she's done.
Okay, so I found that guy's video. I found it. I put it up on my phone. So we're going to listen to what he said. Okay, I want y'all to hear this and tell me why I should be concerned. He's not oppressed in the first place. None of these people are. Okay, they don't have to fight for liberation. And if it comes a time that they do, well, that'll just be on them, because we've had to fight for liberation for centuries and still haven't gotten it, nor have we gotten compensation. It'll be people just like them that are telling us, oh, the Black Panther Party's coming out here to have everybody get together. You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? These same people that want us to come out there and join forces with them, where the hell were they when we're asking for reparations? Aren't they the same ones saying that we don't deserve reparations? Aren't they the same ones that saying we don't need it? Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. So I'm sorry. And at the end of the day, here's another thing. Though some of these people may feel that they're not necessarily racist, they may feel like that. I guess they think that if you're not wearing a Klansman hood, or you're not carrying a Confederate flag, or having on your t-shirt on the back of your truck, that's not racism. Well, that's just blatant. You can be racist and not be so blatant with it. Okay, you can be a closeted racist and all types of racists. But the bottom line is, where are these people when we're out here talking about our reparations? Okay, Bernie Sanders, who was supposed to be an ally to us, who marched beside Dr. King, okay, and even got arrested with Dr. King, he said, when asked about reparations for the descendants of slaves in this country, what are reparations? All of a sudden, he doesn't know what it is. Then he later says reparations is divisive. But he didn't say that when his people got reparations from this country. And their atrocity didn't even occur in this country. Ours did. And then they say, none of you that are alive were ever slaves. We're slaves right now. What are you talking about? We have to live like slaves in this country, riding around worried about the slave catchers, i.e. the police. So what is he talking about? Not to mention, they need to stop acting as though we only want reparations for slavery. What about Jim Crow? What about the lynchings? What about Rosewood? Okay? What about the Detroit race riot, the Chicago race riot, the one here in Atlanta, Sweet Auburn? What about Tulsa? They owe us reparations for plenty of things, not just slavery. Many things that came after. What about redlining, black codes? What about licenses to kill black people? Some of y'all probably didn't even know they had those. It was called the Jigger hunting license, okay, with an N. Now let's hear what he has to say.
And the resurrection of Christ, which are the two main tenets of Christianity. But that's not even the quick question. Why are we celebrating MLK Day? Do we not realize what kind of person he was? Now, you can get mad at me and go, oh, well, racism or whatever, but genuinely, like, MLK as an individual, as a person, was an awful human being. He denied the virgin birth and the resurrection of Christ, which are the two main tenets of Christianity. But that's not even the bad stuff, because you can be not Christian and still be like an okay human being. What he did next was worse. According to this article, which is verified based off of the FBI transcript of the MLK files, he cheated on his wife with 40 different women, impregnating, according to this exact transcript, impregnating one of them. He was also known to host orgies. That's not very Christian. But wait.
Now, I want you to pay attention. This man is a Trump supporter. And he's talking about Dr. King. It's not a good person. So Trump never cheated on his wives, on any of them. Trump wasn't hanging out with Epstein. All of this stuff that Trump has going on out here in the streets of all these cities isn't a deflection and a distraction from the Epstein files and information. Of course it is. But let him cook.
It gets worse. King was accompanied by a friend, Logan Kearse, the pastor of Baltimore's Cornerstone Baptist Church, who arrived in Washington with what an FBI summary describes as several women parishioners of his church. Kearse invited King to meet the women in his room, where they discussed which women among the parishioners would be suitable for natural and unnatural sex acts. If that wasn't bad enough, when one of the women protested that she didn't approve of what was happening, the Baptist minister immediately and forcibly raped her as King watched. And according to an internal note written by one of the agents, while King was watching, he not only approved by laughing, but offered advice. So this...
Okay, so my mistake, he didn't say that Dr. King raped anyone, but he said that he watched someone else grape someone and gave advice and laughed. Now, he's reading this from an FBI file. But here's the thing. How do we know that the FBI is telling the truth? Haven't they historically lied and made up things on black people? Have they not? Okay, I'm sorry. Please pay attention.
Christian minister denied core tenets of the faith, cheated on his wife with over 40 women and impregnated at least one of them, hosted multiple different sexual degenerate orgies, and then not only watched someone sexually assault another person, but laughed and offered advice. And this is a person who deserves a holiday? Quick question, why are we so...
Y'all heard what he said. See, when I hear stuff like that, it just really just tells me, stay your arse home. Okay? That's all it tells me. Stay your arse home. Period. All right? Because how dare you? I mean, it's the nerve for me. Anyway, with that all being said, we're going to talk about Pastor Mike Todd's nefarious self because y'all know he came out and said something. Now, if you ask me, the pastor probably should have just kept his mouth shut. Yeah, I think he probably should have just kept quiet because he just made it worse, in my opinion, when he came out. When he came out and said something and replied, that was like a hit dog hollering because Drewski never said his name. And in fact, Drewski was poking at just mega churches in general, okay, and just doing things that some of these pastors happen to do. But he came out and I just thought what he said was crazy. But before we get into that, I want to say this to you all. You all know, hold on, let me see if I can find this video really quick. Hold on, beloveds. Looking for this, okay, here we go. Hold on, beloveds. Now, you all know that Kevin Stefanski has been hired by the Atlanta Falcons, right? Which I find interesting. So Kevin Stefanski has been hired by the Atlanta Falcons. And what's interesting about that for me is this. Do you all remember? Hold on, I'm trying to pull this video up so I can play it in a second. Now, here's the thing. So I was thinking, right? I thought there was a whole bunch of coincidences maybe. Do you all remember? And I wrote this all down so I wouldn't forget anything. But you all remember when the draft was going on and how Shedeur got pranked? You all remember that? Of course you do. And who was the person that pranked him? The young man's name, because I couldn't remember it. I reported on this, but I couldn't remember his name for some reason. I had to look it up. Jax Aldridge. You all remember that? Jack Aldridge. Jax, J-A-X, Jax Aldridge. Now, his father, Jeff Aldridge, is the defensive coordinator for guess who? The Falcons. So this is the young man who got Shedeur's phone number some kind of way. Very interesting because that was a new phone. They specifically bought that phone for the draft. How did he even get the number? But that man, the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, his son made the prank call. That's one thing, a connection to Atlanta. Then let's not forget the people that broke into his house. The people that broke into his house and robbed him. Did you all know that they came from Atlanta? Okay? The burglars that broke in his house drove from Atlanta. Let's go to the report. Let's go to the news report. So that's two connections to Atlanta. Two connections to Atlanta. I find it interesting.
Of driving to Ohio and burglarizing the home of Cleveland's Brown quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
So authorities say the suspects hit Sanders' home while he was making his NFL debut in November. So these three men, all from DeKalb County, were picked up during separate traffic stops in the county between the end of November and just days before New Year's Eve.
But right now, the fourth suspect, you see here on your screen, Carlos Morris of Lithonia, remains on the run. The men.
It be your own people. Don't bro got it bad enough?
Okay. So y'all don't think that's interesting, right? And now another connection to Atlanta when Kevin Stefanski gets hired by the Falcons. All right. Does anybody think that's a little bit more than a coincidence? Somebody let me know. Maybe I'm just reaching, but I just thought that was definitely interesting. Okay. I thought that was very interesting at the end of the day. So, and then here's another thing. Where is that video of Skip? There was a video of Skip Bayless. Hold on, beloveds. Ooh, honey, I need some breakfast. I hear my stomach growling. I hear my stomach growling. I hope y'all don't hear it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here it is. Now I want y'all to listen to this because y'all know, I love to hear Skip when he's going off about my nephew Shedeur. But this is something that I didn't even notice the first time Skip said it. I guess I wasn't paying attention. But I want y'all to listen to what Skip says. Here we go.
Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback that I said should go #1 overall, the quarterback that Mel Kiper ranked above Cam Ward before the draft, fell incredibly, shockingly, outrageously, preposterously into the 5th round, where Jimmy Haslam, the Cleveland owner, finally said, let's just take him. It was a publicity stunt. Nobody in that organization wanted to take Shedeur Sanders even in the 5th round except for the owner. Trust me on that. And somehow Shedeur Sanders rose from 5th on the depth chart all the way up into starting the last 7 games for the Cleveland Browns. Maybe God said, let there be Shedeur. And he just capped off his rookie season for the Cleveland Browns by beating Aaron Rodgers straight up and then going to Cincinnati and beating Joe Burrow with an outrageously clutch 64-yard and 10-play drive for the field goal, the walk-off field goal to win it.
Now, I know you all didn't catch what Skip said. Joy said Skip is a nobody to me. Well, he could be, but I love to hear him going in about Shedeur. With that all being said, what I had noticed when I listened to that last night was Skip said, let there be Shedeur. He said, God said, let there be Shedeur. You know why I find that interesting? Because if you all remember, I didn't catch that the first time I listened to it, but if you all remember, I told you all months ago that Shedeur, first of all, he's very much into God. He's always, not quoting scripture, but he's always thanking God or bringing up God in his talking points. And he's such a very humble person. But one of the things that I told you all months ago is that his name, Shedeur, it means spreader of light, light of the Almighty, flame of the powerful one. So when Skip says, let there be Shedeur, he's quoting Genesis when God said, let there be light. Because clearly he knows that's what Shedeur's name meant. And I was like, yeah, Skip is really a diehard fan. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell you all. But here's the thing. This is something else I forgot to point out. Now, Kevin Stefanski got the job for the Falcons, but they fired the other coach, right, Raheem Morris, who had a better record than Stefanski. Okay, he had 16 to 18. That was his score, 16 to 18 in 2 years. So won 16, lost 18, but Stefanski only had 8 to 26. That's like 27%, like 27.5%, whereas Raheem Morris had like 47%. So I find that interesting. Don't y'all? Okay, just please pay attention. Please pay attention. So I just wonder, and I can't help but wonder, if Kevin Stefanski, another thing, did you all know that Kevin Stefanski and Dylan Gabriel allegedly have the same agents? That was interesting too. But I just thought it was a little suspicious, just like I said, maybe I'm reaching, but I always just pay attention to certain things. And it just seemed like a little bit more than a coincidence for me. I'm thinking, did Kevin Stefanski know the guy, the defensive coordinator, Ulbrich? Okay, I don't know. I just think it's all very interesting. And why would the Falcons want to hire him after they saw how he did Shedeur? Okay, I know who I won't be watching next season. So anyway, with that all being said, now let's talk about the nefarious Pastor Mike Todd. Okay, the one who has now come out and responded to Drewski. I had a feeling he was going to say something. But especially since people started directly referencing him when they saw the video, because many people said that as soon as they saw Drewski's video, he's the first pastor they thought about. Now, at the end of the day, I had not ever heard of this man until I saw the video. So I went and did some digging. And I showed you all some video clips on him the other day. He's so disgusting. You all saw what he did. He's putting that spit on that man's face. That was his brother. Okay, but so let's go to what he had to say. Like, sub, everyone please like and share. Soulfully Sowing Seed says, not the grifter. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what he is. A pulpit pimp, in my opinion.
Crazy. I don't even got a Rolls Royce. What? Like, and you thought it was some attack on the church. No, it was attack on your focus. How you feeling, Pastor Mike? I don't even know really what happened. Because I've been off of social media. I had a few people tell me what was going on. I was like, that's crazy. I don't even got a Rolls Royce.
He's lying. He's lying. He has not been off of social media. He's been very active on social media because he's been blocking people. He's been blocking people because people were tagging him in the video and because people were coming on his account and leaving comments. Okay? Leaving comments, and he was blocking us. So please sit down somewhere, sir. You know you were on social media. You got mad because people were leaving you comments about the video. Okay, so he absolutely was seeing it all go down.
What? Like I didn't know. Like I like people AI-ing pictures and doing stuff. I said I don't remember being that big. I was big, but I don't remember being that big. But you know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of the vibe. But the reason I couldn't get distracted is because I'm building something. The reason that I cannot be moved off of my post because what God has called me to. Representing God to the lost and found for transformation in Christ. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Now I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention because for one, here's what he was trying to do. First off, he said AI pictures. Okay, yeah, that picture was AI. The picture with him wearing the Christian Dior suit that Drewski was wearing, but somebody else made that. Drewski didn't even make that. Someone made it after the video came out. So that's number one. But he said something about that to make it seem as though there were, fictitious things in the video. And then he says, I don't even own a Rolls Royce. As if that's the only thing that was similar. Okay, in the video. Like that's the only thing that was similar to him or him driving a fancy car. But he said he doesn't even own a Rolls Royce. So clearly, if I don't own a Rolls Royce, he couldn't have been talking about me. Or no, I said that backwards. Not that that was the only thing that was similar, but basically saying that aside from all of these things, even though some of these things were similar, I don't have a Rolls Royce. So he couldn't have been talking about me. Well, sir, at the end of the day, he wasn't specifically talking about you. He was talking about MAGA churches, period, and the pastors and the shenanigans that many of you, in fact, engage in. But you see, that's what you call a hit dog hollering because nobody said his name. Drewski didn't say his name, at least. All right. So he was pressed. He wants to act like he's not bothered. He's clearly bothered. Okay. Let's go to this video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Clearly pressed. Okay. Leon said he sounds like Martin. I want you all to notice something else too. How you know that he really is bothered. I'll tell you in a second. This guy may say it on this video. I can't remember.
To know that all the good that we have done in 10 years, almost 11 years of ministry, people want to sum it up as I'm a false prophet and I steal money from the church. That's disappointing. We've seen 191,000 people come to Christ in the last decade. 191,000 people documented. Bishop, we've given away $36 million to different organizations, widows, orphans, housed families, changed people, single moms. We have done so much work.
Now, here's the thing. Does it really count when you gave away money that your parishioners gave you? I saw a pastor do something so slick the other day on a video. The pastor was telling everybody to come up and bring their tithes. I forget the amount he asked for. I think he wanted $1,000 from each person that came up. There were some people who didn't have the money. So he asked who didn't have it. Who didn't have $200 or $300, I think it was, or didn't have at least that. And so maybe 6 people raised their hands. So he told other people in the church that Those of you who have money, then you need to give money to these people because they don't have money. Okay, so the people gave the people like $200 a piece. And so what did the people do with the money? The people gave the money to the pastor. And then the pastor turned around and gave them back the money. Like he's giving them charity. All you did was give them back the money that they gave you that they got from other people. What the hell's that? What does that even do? Like, I'm like, what's going on here? That's what he did. He had people in the congregation who had money come give these people money. And then told those people, you can do with the money what you want. You can give it to the church or you can keep it. Well, of course they're going to give it to the church. They're standing right there in front of everybody. They don't want to be looked at crazy. So they gave it to him, and then he gives money back to them. He tells somebody in the congregation, or one of the, not in the congregation, but he tells one of his staffers, go write 6 checks for $200. He didn't give them the cash back, but he told somebody to go write 6 checks for $200. Like he's doing something. Sir, you're giving them back money they gave you that they got from them. None of that money came out of his pocket is all I'm saying. So while these people sit up here like him, for example, bragging about giving away $36 million, how much of that money came out of his pocket? We're not talking about the congregation, but how much of it came from his bank account? Okay. Some people would say that it doesn't matter. Okay, well, maybe it doesn't, but I would definitely like to know.
For the cause of Christ. And it's disappointing that there's pastors that would preach whole messages against me today. It's disappointing. But in this life, it don't matter how much I pray, how much I fast. No, I'm trying to give you the real today. Y'all want this fake cushy stuff, but nobody is exempt. I don't get out of this line pass because I'm a pastor.
I'm just saying, if he called that getting real and not the cushy, soft stuff, then I don't know what to tell, bro. Because I mean, I did not listen to the whole sermon, but Mike Todd's not known for preaching hard sermons. He's not known for preaching sermons that cause conviction. I mean, at least from what I've seen. Okay, he's more of the motivational Joel Osteen type pastor. And every pastor is not going to preach the same, but, you know, I do think that, and I didn't go to seminary school. I don't know how they structure sermons, but there should be balance. There should be balance of preaching with love and conviction and holiness, and then preaching about.
Forgot I was muted. Here's what I want you all to pay attention to. Now, did you all notice what type of attire that he was wearing in that video? Did you all notice what he was wearing? Let's go back. This is how you know that he was paying attention and that he's clearly pressed. Because I'm going to show you how he normally dresses, but I noticed that he was very toned down.
About, you know,
see that outfit? Just a plain black sweater, plain black slacks. That's what he's wearing. That's what he's wearing. Now, because he's also had a lot of controversy surrounding his attire, the way he dresses in the pulpit. So now I'm going to share my screen and show you all some of the pictures of how he normally dresses. So clearly he's pressed, okay? Because now he's toned it down quite a bit. This outfit right here really had people saying something, because people were saying it looked feminine because he had on the wide leg pants and then the short, like cropped jacket. He looked like somebody's auntie, in my opinion. Okay, and that's fine if he was LGBTQ, but you're a whole married man. So people had several questions. And he said something about that too when he was on an interview. He was interviewed, I want to say, by Cam Newton or Shannon Sharp. I think it was Cam Newton. No, I'm sorry. It was the Breakfast Club. And Charlemagne the Devil asked him basically about how he feels about when people talk about his clothing. And he said, when athletes do it, it's fashion. But when I do it, it's feminine or something like that. Well, you know, they say it's feminine when they do it too. Okay. They say that when he does, when they do it too. There he is on the Breakfast Club. Another thing, I meant to point this out to you all the other day. I don't know if I did, but when he was on the Breakfast Club, what I thought was interesting is that he had this little symbol on his shirt from the Ouija board. Do you all see that? Why would he have that on his shirt? I mean, on his jacket. That's the symbol for the Ouija board. Okay, please pay attention. Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. Do y'all see that right here? I don't know if you all can see it very well, but that's the planchette. The little thing that you move around on the Ouija board. And I'm like, and it was what made me really pay attention to that is because I think they asked him something, not about a Ouija board, but they asked him something, if I'm not mistaken, that pertained to like dark arts or something. They asked him something that had something to do with that type of stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought it was interesting that he was sitting up there with that on his jacket. At least something that looks like it. Okay. So anyway, that all being said, that's what he had to say about it. He said he wasn't bothered. He doesn't even own a Rolls Royce. Oh, and a former member. That's another thing. Let me go to this video because a lady who used to be a member of his church came out and spoke. Okay. And so let's get into it. This you can hear from straight from the horse's mouth.
Quick, honestly, because I feel like if you're not new here, you maybe remember my last Mike Todd video and it caused a lot of backlash. I'm gonna keep this real cute and sweet. If you were unaware or living under a rock, Drewski posted a skit last week where he was basically pretending to be a mega church pastor. Now, this caused a lot of controversy within the church community. A lot of people were very upset with Drewski because they said that he was making a mockery of the church. However, most of us, including myself, thought it was hilarious because as much as we may be involved in the church, we do know that these types of mega pastors do exist. If you missed the video, essentially Drewski was making fun of pastors who the only thing they know how to preach about is money, that ask for tithes the entire service, and they come on stage in all of these flashy clothes, and you can tell that they are about money. Unanimously in the comments of this video, people were adding Mike Todd. If you're not familiar with Mike Todd, he is a pastor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His church is Transformation Church, and he did a series called Relationship Goals that put him on the map. If you're thinking the name sounds familiar, but I don't remember why it is that I know him, I got you. He is known for doing a whole bunch of stunts and tricks and all these different things in the pulpit, just making a show out of church. He's the one that poured syrup all over the Bible for a demonstration. He is also the one who spit in his hand and wiped it on his brother's face on the stage. I'll put the video of Mike Todd's reaction at the end of this if you want to watch the entire thing in full. It's only around like 40-45 seconds. Here's what I'll say. Mike Todd is very aware of the conversation surrounding him because it's not anything that's new. It's something that many people have been saying for a long time, years at this point now. He got in that pulpit and was like, I don't know what everyone's so upset about. I don't drive a Rolls Royce. Like, that was the only thing that you took from the entire skit that could have been tied to you was the Rolls Royce. Got it. He then proceeded to say that this entire thing was a distraction. The skit was a distraction to take people away from spending time with their kids, from spending time with God. He essentially got in that pulpit and said a whole bunch of nothing, but the most disheartening part to me, it literally sent chills down my body, was the congregation being like, oh, yeah, like just in unanimous agreement with this man. So, like, a lot of us that are familiar with Mike Todd had a stage where Mike Todd was our pastor, and then slowly that discernment started sinking in, and we were like, okay, this isn't a good fit. All of the antics, all the stunts, it just wasn't a good fit for our walks. As a full, if you don't remember from the old series, they bought like a convention center or something. That's a convention center full of people that are like blindly following and yes manning this man. And that is why he continues to do the things that he does.
How you feeling, Pastor Mike? I don't even know really what happened.
Trying to sound like a little kid. And then here's the thing. When he started talking about it's a distraction, he said it kept people away from their kids because they were so busy going back and forth on social media. He sounds so crazy. People literally go back and forth on social media every day. What does that have to do with them spending time or paying attention to their kids? Okay, it's not that serious, Mike Todd. All right, he's so full of it. Now, with that being said, let's continue because I have a couple more videos. This is a content creator from TikTok that did a video about him. And listen, Lawrence says, when you hear a pastor say, I did this, I did that, Satan said the same thing in the book of Ezekiel, no reference or acknowledgement of Yah. Yeah, and that also reminds me of Trump, beloved, because isn't he doing the same thing all the time? Talking about he did this and he did that, he stopped 8 wars and all this foolishness. But you're absolutely right.
Todd, you ain't see a video that was referring to you with 100 million views? Huh? Well, you better than me, because I see videos that's mentioning me with 500. Huh? Pastor Mike Todd, you ain't see a video referring to you with 100 million views? Huh? You better than me, because I be seeing the ones that's mentioning me with 500. Huh? Pastor Mike Todd said he ain't even get to see the video about Drewski, and he ain't even think it wasn't funny. He said it was hilarious, and he ain't got no Rolls Royce. Pastor Mike Todd, listen, I know you felt some type of way about that, especially when they put AI and put that damn blazer with Dior on your body. Listen, come on, Mike. Now listen, I understand you're a preacher. I understand you don't take no hits and you got to be holier than thou. But brother, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. You the first person I thought about when I seen the video. It wasn't even questioning who he was talking about. Pastor Mike Todd said, this is all confusion. Confusion from what? Talking about we wasn't watching our kids this weekend because we was arguing about you. I don't know where you live at. It's a recession right now. We was arguing with each other in the comments while our kids, just like me, was standing on our heads. And we was telling them to sit down somewhere. Yes, they were still in the vicinity. Don't be talking about parenting because your ass be doing all this nonsense on the stage. Sidebar. Pastor Mike Todd, I know it probably didn't bother you like you said, but I see this week you came in with a sensible outfit, V-neck sweater, and some regular slacks instead of being dressed like Offset and Takeoff at a video shoot. I digress. Pastor Mike Todd replies back to everybody's talking about him and this Drewski thing, and what do y'all think? Let's argue in the comments. I'm just the messenger.
Not let's argue in the comments. You said you like how he keeps opening and closing his sweater. He wears that sweater on every video, okay? He wears that sweater on every video and does the same thing. He's hilarious. All right. Now, with that all being said, this Raleigh, North Carolina pastor shares his thoughts on Drewski's skit. That was hilarious. She built Jordan said it's the hun for me. Okay.
I'm so glad that comedian came out. I messed his name up this morning. It is Drewski. I said Dursky. Drewski. I'm so glad he came out with his little skit because it exposed all the foolishness in the house of God. Let me tell you something. If you got to start that way, you got to finish that way. Because when people get used to that, that's what they want to see. We come in with a pure, unadulterated word of God. We're not building on nobody foundation but the word of God. And the word of God going to produce signs and wonders. I don't need no filler. I just get straight.
Okay, so clearly he didn't have a problem with it. Okay, the good pastors didn't have a problem with it, all right? They didn't have a problem with it because they know they don't do that BS. And they know it's all facts when people talk about the ones that do. Okay, and they get mad. And I heard that a church here in Atlanta was supposed to be trying to sue Drewski. They're going to have a tough time proving that. Because where's the defamation? You have 4 elements to prove defamation. That was a skit. Here's the thing. I find it interesting they're going in so hard to paint on Drewski because that must have really hit home and must have really upset them because we know that for years comedians have done things in skits about church. If you all remember the Wayans brothers, they did one in David Allen Greer played the greedy pastor collecting all the donations multiple times in church. Do you all remember? Though it wasn't a mega church, it was just a regular church, but nonetheless, David Allen Greer depicted a greedy pastor who kept passing around the offering plate. Okay, so this has been done before. All right, at the end of the day, it's nothing new. Okay, so before I conclude, Drewski struck a nerve. Yes, of course he did. Now, before I leave out of here, I want to show you all this video about these guys. These two gay guys were about to fight, and they had on fur coats. I mean, these coats were beautiful. And so anyway, they were about to get into a fight. Now, I want you all to watch the video, and then when it's done, I want to ask you all something, okay, that was said in the video, what you all thought about it. Okay, so let's get into it, and then we're out of here, okay? I may come back later.
Bitch, I want to fight, bitch.
Wait.
You want to fight who? No, bitch, I'm sick of you trying to. Everybody think you bullying me.
No,
bitch.
I got a turtleneck on.
I give a fuck, bitch.
I got a
turtleneck
on.
No,
Bitch, I got a turtleneck. No, I got a turtleneck on. Let me put a crew neck on. She want to fight me with a turtleneck, bitch. Let me put a crew neck.
Put a fucking turtleneck on.
Don't
drop
that fool. Let me put my crew neck on. Don't drop that fool. I can't even breathe with this turtleneck.
Wait,
don't
drop
that fool.
Right now.
I'm not fighting you right now. I'm not fighting you right now. I got a fucking turtleneck on, bitch. Let me put my crew neck on. Why? Let me put my crew neck on, bitch. No, let me put my crew neck on.
Wait, hold on. What's going on?
Let me No, it's going on. It's going on. At you. Bitch, let me put my fucking crew neck on. I ain't fighting no bitch in a turtleneck. I can't even breathe.
Bitch, I'm a
Give me a fair one, bitch. Give me a fair one, bitch. Give me a fair one, bitch. You good. We cut. What's up, bitch? I'm not doing. Throw your hands up, bitch.
Oh, yeah, that bitch is pussy. See? To my jack over everything. That bitch is pussy.
Oh.
Okay, that was hilarious to me. Now, here's the thing. Who in here? Okay, Lion, Lion of Judah. Says Richard Pryor movie Car Wash was Pastor Big Daddy Rich. You know, I forgot about that. Yes, and that was hilarious. That is a really good one, beloved, because he got out that big limousine, and I think he was wearing fur and all that. He had the two women with him, looked like they were his and then his 304s. Yeah, absolutely. So right, they've always done that. Okay, so now here's the question, beloveds. Byron B said a windmill fight. Now, who in here feels like the guy was making an excuse not to fight because he said he was not going to fight with no turtleneck on? Do y'all think he was just trying to make up an excuse not to fight? One's in the chat. Do you all think he was just trying to make up an excuse not to fight by saying he wasn't going to fight with no turtleneck on? Nene said he didn't want that turtleneck stretched out. Danger said this has to be a skit. No, they were serious. Everybody saying one. Leon called it a classic. Okay, let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to pay attention because this is a lifeline. Because when many people saw that, I'm sure that they thought, oh, he's just trying to get out of the fight. Let me tell y'all something. I guarantee you that you've never seen somebody fight with a turtleneck on. And there's a reason for that. Barbie said, time out, I can't fight. I have on a turtleneck. You better not fight no turtleneck, at least not the kind he had. Now, this kind of turtleneck might be a little different because it's got a wide neck on it. This one does. But the thing is this, it's very dangerous. It can be dangerous to fight in a turtleneck because notice the first thing the guy did when he said, I'm not going to fight you in a turtleneck. The guy immediately grabbed him up by the top of the turtleneck around his neck. If you have on a tight fitted turtleneck like he was wearing, somebody could absolutely choke you with that. That turtleneck can be used against you as a noose. Okay, it can be used like a noose to restrict your breathing. Somebody grabs it and twists it. And then also that gives them control of your head and neck. Okay, you're not going to win that fight, that's all I'm saying. And you could really get hurt. Okay, so yeah, he was smart to say, I'm not going to fight you with no turtleneck. And I'll tell you something else that I believe. The little dude, he doesn't even look like he could whip that guy. Maybe he can. But here's the thing. He all of a sudden, as they're walking home, says, I want to fight. And the guy's like, why? He said, people have been saying they feel like you bully me. So if people have been saying it, why didn't you want to fight him any other time? He wanted to fight him on that night because he was wearing that turtleneck. And he felt like he would have the ups on him. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. See, that's how a person can size you up and you're not even paying attention. Okay? You're not even paying attention. So that's a lifeline for today. Okay? Don't be out there fighting in a turtleneck, honey. If you got on a turtleneck and somebody's about to run up on you, hopefully you have something else under it so you can take it off. Terry Lee King said, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I know you are, beloved. Okay. She Built Journal said, you know, some zesty guys can throw hands. Absolutely. Make no mistake. All right. Make no mistake. Nene said, thank you for that. You're welcome, beloved. Okay. So now with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Like I said, I may come back later. If I do, it'll be about 7 or 7:30. Meantime, between time, Jonathan said church shoes. Absolutely. You don't want to fight in church shoes and slip and slides if you can help it. And if you have on either, I would suggest kicking them off. Okay, it's better to fight in bare feet than to fight in slip and slides or church shoes because you don't have any traction. Okay, you don't have any traction. Now, with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got